This boat is for sale.
It's our friend Torrens. I'll put the link in the description below. And she's served us well. We've had a fabulous, eventful time on her.
She's absolutely gorgeous. I think someone will be very, very happy on board.
So the journey here with the kids was a little bit chaotic. I've decided that me and the kids are gonna jump on a little plane and meet Riley at the marina back in Lombok, because I'd rather not do 3 days non-stop with the kids in the saloon.
Okay.
They were like monkeys.
It is too small. It's
and
just
Darwin's like
absolute
nearly
chaos.
2, and 2 at like that age. If you know, you know.
We were vaguely debating whether or not to tell you guys that Elaine is flying back, because people are just going to judge us on that for sure. But I don't really care. That's what we're doing.
I'd rather do this than
Yeah.
endure that pain I went through.
It's the right decision for the family. 100% it's the right thing to do. Just trust me.
Please stick around, because we're going to tell you our full schedule for traveling around the world. We're hitting up the United States, we're going to England, we're going to Europe. We're going to tell you all. Are we going to reveal the boats?
We're going to do lots of flying.
Lots of flying, yeah. Digging ourselves a hole here, aren't we?
Yeah, I one after another. So we've got 4 or 5 days to get the boat back, to get it hauled out. Me and Forrest are going to do that trip, and Elaine is going to go with the kids, and we'll meet them back in Lombok.
Little boys trip for you, bit of a rest for me.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Hang on, I just dropped the...
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
This is bigger than before.
Drop the flasher.
Oh, another jobfish. Nice. Tell me everything.
Saw a little shark, and in the end I saw 5 wahoo, I think, little ones.
Wow.
How did you do it
So
so fast?
fast.
And how did you get that fish, Daddy?
I shot it with the spear, Lenny. This fish here is beautiful. I want to call it a perch, but I don't. I'm going to look in my fish identification Google search in a minute. But yeah, really happy with this one. Another jobfish, which seemed to be a main staple on board at the moment.
Gonna taste good.
It's going to be absolutely amazing. Thanks so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring the video. The human brain has evolved over millions of years. It is often described as having 3 main layers which correspond to different stages of our evolutionary history. Number 1 is the reptilian complex or basal ganglia. This is associated with instinctual functions like your heartbeat and breathing, but it's also associated with aggression, violence, dominance and territoriality, which are prominently displayed by reptiles. And then smooshed on top of that, you've got the limbic system and the neocortex. And whilst it is true that McLean's triune brain model system is outdated now, it really is no wonder that people these days need a little bit of help maintaining their lizard brains, and for that we use BetterHelp. To get started with that, you just need to answer a few questions about your needs and your preferences, and that way BetterHelp can just quickly match you with the correct therapist. At that point, you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, video or phone call. You can message your therapist at any time, and you can schedule a live session when it's convenient for you. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, then you can just grab yourself a new one. It's pretty simple. With BetterHelp, you can expect the same professionalism and quality that you would get if you went to an in-office therapy session. To me, that's one of the major things. But with BetterHelp, you get a therapist who's picked for you, you have more scheduling flexibility and a more affordable price. It's just the way that things are headed, and I really love it for that. So if you would like to make sure that your basal ganglia is receiving the care and attention that it deserves, you can head over to betterhelp.com/sailing. That's our link. We'll put it in the description below, maybe in the top comment. You get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp there. We recommend it. It's what we do. And yeah, we'll crack on with the rest of it.
As Riley set sail, I flew off with the kids. I always get a little worried about leaving Riley alone in the hands of Mother Nature. They did have a satellite phone, but these islands don't have a coast guard to help you if something were to happen. As it turns out, I would have no idea the dramas that were about to unfold for the boys.
The first time in at least 10 days we've had the wind anywhere but at 0 degrees, directly on the nose. Perfect example of when the electric engine on the Rapido would have come in real handy, because we've just motored 10 nautical miles. I think we've got a range of 60 miles, so we would have used a 1/6 of our battery capacity, and then you put up all the sails and start sailing. In this we'd be going at 15 knots, and that battery would be replaced very quickly with the hydro generation. That would just be a massive win for us today. I honestly really love when the ocean is flat like that. it's really fun. But you've always got sun in the sky. You are getting a lot of solar at that point, which would be replacing it nowhere near fast enough for the power output that you've got, but you'd be getting some back.
I think anyone who sails knows how ridiculously exciting that sounds to not be running the engine as much.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, we've got dolphins finally. Woo. Shame they didn't want to hang around, hey?
Nah, they didn't.
One other two.
Fruit salad. Oh, dude, this is good.
What's happening?
I'm gonna jump in. It's really weird. We just stopped kind of going anywhere. There's a current going into the channel. So we were going quite slow and have been for the last 3 hours. We've been going at 3 knots, even 2 knots. And then as I came south, we slowed down to 1 knot, and then it was pretty much 0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we were both like, there's no way there's 6 knots of current against us. I don't have a flashlight that works properly, so I'm gonna go down and feel the prop and see what's down there. It's probably a great big shark hanging off it.
You were just telling me how few sharks you've seen.
And this has got tinted. I don't want that. I'll grab ELAYNA'S one.
This looks spooky.
Clear as day.
Can ya?
Yeah.
You can see it clear as day.
Is that in gear?
Yeah.
No, it's not moving.
Wow. So yeah, so pushed in is in gear A.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Alright, we've got an engine but not a propeller.
No clutch.
That much.
Do it again. Alright, don't touch anything because I'm going to touch the propeller.
Alright, do you want me to leave it neutral or revs?
Neutral. Jesus Christ. Neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral.
Cut that, yeah, it's in neutral.
So the engine's broken. Well, the engine is working, but when we put it into gear, nothing's happening. The propeller is not spinning at all. I was amazed I could see that with the moon.
The moon was just that clear.
Clear as day. Fortunately, this has happened not too far from the capital of Sumbawa, and there's a few lights over here. So we've been using the head sail. We haven't even used the main yet. So Forrest and I are going to get that up, and we're going to tack up to our spot. There's a big open bay there, and we can anchor there and sleep and make another plan in the morning.
Big open bay, but also potentially like dozens, if not 50 fishing boats. This is like the main commercial entry point for the island. So we could have a bit of fun tacking through dozens of boats without anchor lights, but it'll be an adventure.
Well, you've been on one of these boats before, so I'm going to make you captain.
Okay, usually, as many of you would know, when you hoist the mainsail, you need to have the boat dead into the wind so that the mainsail is flagging and you can then hoist it. Now, to do that, you would use the engine, and we don't have an engine. Is essentially get underway with the jib, which we are right now. We're doing what, 2.5 knots? But yeah, we're assuming that as we get closer to land, the wind is offshore, the wind's going to drop, so we're going to need every bit of help we can get.
And we need to maneuver in close, so we definitely need the main.
Yeah, and then to raise the main, we're going to have to let out the mainsail sheet as much as possible to the point that it's way out over the side of the boat and actually flagging, and then we can raise it while we're already underway with the jib. To get the angle, you have to be at least, you know, quite into the wind. Let's go give it a crack. We got plenty of room.
I should put some pants on.
Really gives gravity to the situation.
Before we're sailing with no engine. There's a massive tanker here and a massive tanker here. Fortunately, we've got some wind and a nice open bay, but with 2 huge tankers in it. Never hoisted the mainsail on this boat, and it's Indonesia, so you've got to do yourself. Like, there's no one to call for help, basically. We practiced tacking with just the head sail. We think we can get this done with just the head sail because the wind was coming from here. We would need to tack up. I've practiced some jibes and some tacks with just the head sail, Forrest and I. We're pointing quite well. We might have to go in and come out again and jibe and have another go. It's hard to anchor under sail in a foreign bay,
wearing
in the dark, wearing a towel. where the ground could come up quite suddenly. This is not a small matter that we're dealing with here, and Forrest has been absolutely amazing. I'm very glad that you're here.
Cracking jokes when I probably shouldn't be. Holy shit, look at the container ships. This small city is called Sumbawa Besar, and it's the main, well, really the only major commercial port on the island. And then the satellite images on Google Maps are showing a lot of fishing boats right on the inside, but we're hoping we can be just outside of them. Just passing the first container ship out on our right, and Riley's got pants on now, so you know things are getting serious.
Definitely getting serious. Still off the charts on the depth as we're approaching this point here.
How deep is it supposed to be now?
Right where we are, 60 metres.
So that should be showing.
Should be. Well, we're going to get past this boat here anyway.
Riley was just saying we've been heading into the wind as much as we can, and we're really impressed with how well the boat has sailed to windward. It's so gnarly how they go around with no lights, eh?
Well, there's 3 of those boats. 4,
Tank.
5, 6. How are we going to get out of here? I haven't told Elayna because she would be really worried. This is really I feel like we've really got everything under control, but like if that wind comes around, there's so many things that we're relying on, but all of the signs that I'm getting are that things are falling in our favour, which is great.
I'm just stoked we're together and we can work as a team, because you and I were both considering doing this single-handed if one had to go back early, and this would have been a
yeah, man.
There we go, tanker right there. Are we going to go sus and then just come back out, or should I get ready?
No, you should get ready.
Yeah, I have 10 or 15 metres of chain ready to drop quick.
You need more than that. I wanted you to let out 15 metres, then when we're in 10 metres, just dump it, and the anchor would hit the sand.
Yeah. And
then we'd have 5 metres out, and then we'd come tight.
Well, I got about 10 out, so we can do that.
Let out 20.
Yeah.
27 metres. I let it down with your hands then. We don't have much time.
I'm ready with the anchor for sure.
As soon as I get to 12 metres,
yeah,
I'm going to turn up into the wind. There's nothing in front of us, is there? No.
Like, it's still a way off, but we don't want to get too close.
No, we're in 20 metres. We can't go into irons. Okay, well, I'll go to starboard a bit. Alright. 18 metres, so we're going to have to go behind those 2. We're in 17 metres now. This is great.
We've only got 1 shot and we can't slow down because we don't have reverse. That we're going to not drift up onto that guy.
Yeah, but once we got the anchor out, we should be alright. Okay. I'm going to spin around and come back, and we're going to go to this spot over here.
Okay.
Now,
yeah,
all yours. Okay, so there's those 2 boats, and we want to be to port of them.
There is so many tankers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 12 tankers around us, dude.
Yeah. Like, honestly, even if we ran aground at this point, we could still drop the anchor and then swim it to the spot that we wanted.
Yeah.
Like, we could move the anchor with our hands. So I need you to be up the front there and helping me pick a spot. This time, we're going to do it. All right. We're 28 metres there, so in another 8 metres, we're good, mate. We're 25 now, so that's a gentle decrease, so that's nice. That feels like we're dying. We won't reach that. We'll be alright. 19 metres there, so we'll just go in between those 2 and like behind them. 18. Okay, so I should go to starboard to give me more room, hey? 17 metres. I'm going to come up here soon.
In between the 2?
Yeah. 15, this is perfect. Hold. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to slow us down. Alright, drop that, mate. We're in 13 here, this is perfect. 12, drop it, get it down. How much have you got out there?
10, 15.
We need at least 15 out.
Yeah, this windlass just hasn't been working properly. It's kind of on and off, and it's not really reliable. We needed to drop that chain quick and not get stuck, because we're going to be over that position to drop the anchor with no sail, no engine, slowly drifting back into the container ships.
And we also, with the momentum of this boat is such that, and different to what I'm used to, so we didn't want to crash into the 2 boats in front of us.
Bottom line is the anchor had to be ready. The windlass wasn't reliable, so we pulled the anchor first 20 metres onto the deck. I physically fed out the first 20 metres as quick as I could without it being too hectic, and it worked. You need to come up with a good windlass nickname for me. Wilson Windlass, I don't know. buddy. What's going on?
You've got a...
What's that?
That's the bilge pump, which we can't turn off. It just keeps going. There's an engine which makes something spin, which goes to a pole, which is called a prop shaft, out the back of the boat, which will spin the propeller and move the boat forwards or backwards. To put it in forwards, it runs along like a bicycle brake, where there's a cable inside a sheath like this. Like a bicycle brake, you pull it, slides along and pulls at one end, but not like a bicycle brake. You can also push it because the wire's quite stiff, and it will push something down here and engage or disengage something. But it looks to me like the prop shaft has snapped, and there's these without nuts on the end of them. There's a definite gap in the system. The engine will spin, but the prop shaft won't, and there's a gap there with 4 bolts and no nuts. Let me see if I can find the nuts on the bottom of this. Okay, so there's one of our nuts. There's another nut.
Yeah.
And we make sure we're doing the right thing. I'm gonna put these nuts back in and bolt them on. I found 2. 2 out of 4 isn't too bad. Oh, I've just found another one.
Searching for gold. Some might say you're a gold digger.
Got it. Woo!
How many's that?
That's 3. Need to drop Lenny down in there, or Darwin, to get his little hands in there and find some.
How is it? Like last night, we had the most beautiful sunset sail. I posted an Instagram story saying, oh, I've really missed this. And then it's like classic boat life. You just, well, at least I'm not, but you're digging around in the depths of hell.
I found 3 nuts. All the bolts were still in place, but it had fallen off. This is the prop shaft. I spoke to Torrin. Unfortunately, he had previously gotten someone to work on this. This is a perfect example of that happening, and it's life-threatening. There's rigging stuff, rigging engine. If your engine cuts out at the wrong time and you're relying on it, very dangerous.
I remember when I bought my boat, I was really worried about not knowing the maintenance and stuff. Like, I feel like so often, like the problem is literally changing out a hose clamp. Well, you looked in the engine bay and you could see quite clearly, well, that doesn't look right. Yeah, we've gone and you've rebolted it on. With any luck, that's, you know, we're sorted. And last night, like, I know some people who they rely so heavily on their engine, the idea of in the dark, in a third world country, losing the engine, they would have freaked out. They probably would have called a mayday, or they just would have been like, we need to be rescued. We're not even going to try to go into this, you know, anchorage full of container ships and so on without an engine. But I'm just kind of proud of us. I think we executed sailing into here safely. We basically self-saved ourselves. We could have just not even tried to fix it and just think this is over our heads, but we've managed to fix the problem. And, you know, like the opposite end of the spectrum could have been, we would have waited all night to get rescued and towed in, and like, I don't know how that would have gone. And then we would have waited here for days to get a mechanic, who knows how long. It's like 9-10 o'clock in the morning and we're about to go spearfishing. Boat life.
Hey babe, how you going? We fixed the engine. You won't believe what happened. The connection from the engine to the prop shaft just fell off. So we sailed in last night and I was just like, I'm not going to look at the engine tonight, I'm just going to sail in. We did it in amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's at least 15 of these container ships in this harbour. We had to sneak up the middle of them. We only used the head sail because we've never hoisted the main. We don't even know where the lines are.
How cool is this? Never seen a tanker with a garden or some nice plants on the outside there. That's epic. He's got cactus. That is so cool that he's got a garden. Captain knows what's up. That's going to be the trimaran once Elayna got her green thumb into it.
No worries. What's happened here, Jesus?
Jesus, did you call me?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Just when we thought we were on the home stretch, we broke down again. I've been out here having a ball, putting up the mainsail, putting both sails up, getting us underway in this light breeze. We're doing 3 knots.
Getting us off a lee shore, which is
yeah. Just on the off chance that we couldn't get the engine going again, it feels great to be heading in the right direction and making way and not slowly drifting onto the lee shore. So that's kind of what Riley's been digging around in the engine room, and I'll be having a blast putting the sails up.
The same thing happened. The bolts rattled loose. I found a couple on the bottom and we've had to reassemble it. I should have been checking more regularly. I've been checking regularly, but not regularly enough. so I won't let that slip anymore. It's an area with intense vibration. It's going 2,500 revs. It's spinning around and around and around. If anything could possibly come loose, it will, which is why it came loose in the first place. It should have nylock nuts and anti-seize, or even just a different setup. I just think that whatever you put there is going to rattle loose. I was mucking around with the prop shaft, like I went to turn it, and because Forrest was sailing, the propeller span backwards. I gave it just enough momentum and it just took off and was spinning the prop shaft, and I took my things off and I was like, what the is going on there? And then I was like, oh, we're sailing, okay. And then I was like, put it in reverse, so he did, which caused the cock up. Then we had a problem with the gears and we couldn't get it back into neutral, so I had to wrap a rope around the lever to get it back into neutral and help whilst he pushed it after we went into irons to not put too much pressure on it.
It's just incredible that we keep thinking this is the last thing that could go wrong.
It's 16 miles left and
yeah,
we get thrown another curveball.
We'll come into the marina and the boat will be on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, we'll keep the sails up, but it's good to know the engine's working.
Yeah, bloody oath.
We did it.
We did.
That was hectic, huh?
I wasn't expecting that out of that trip.
Yeah, I know. It was very, very gnarly. I'm proud of us. We did a very good job.
So we actually haven't been on land for 3 days. Yeah. Don't you dare sink while we're away.
You behave yourself, Calypto. What a stunning, stunning boat. Can't believe it.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Excited to see Elena?
Hello. Hey, good to see you.
How you going?
Hi, Forrest.
Hello.
Oh my god, I heard about everything.
Yeah.
Run? Okay, let's run. The wind's picking up and we got to haul the boat out now, so I'm heading out. No kill cord on. Don't do that. There's a crossbreeze and we've got to come into a trailer and we're being blown off like that. So we've got 2 lines on the port side that we're going to throw to the jetty, to the gear down there so that they can hold us in place. For these guys to communicate with me, they're like...
And it worked.
Yeah, it's great.
We've done it before.
The boys are just hauling out now. I'm watching from the balcony of my hotel room. This is where me and the kids have been staying for 3 days. I didn't film much. I'm just always trying to take time away from the camera for my own mental health. And besides, he probably didn't want to see me and the kids just doing the rounds of this boatyard. We'd go to the beach, we'd go play in the sand near the boats that are hauled out. We're about to haul out and clean the boat head to toe, pack up all of our stuff. I'm just up here because Darwin decided to take a nap right at the haul out time, but I got a nice view from up here. Packing up any boat always brings up the emotions. Riley, myself and the boys had one of the most beautiful and challenging voyages of our lives on board Calypto these past few months. Mr. Darwin. But it helped that what we were about to do next would be one of the coolest opportunities we've ever had. We wanted to talk about our plans, the boats we're going to be seeing and the locations. Take it away, darling.
First we're going to see the Fujin. We're going on an incredible race boat, very much race orientated. The thing that I would like to really do there, apart from sail it around and just have a sick time, put the family on there and spend a night and be like, is this possible? It's what I think that people should be leaning towards, really. Then we're gonna go and see a gunboat, which I'm sure our audience would be familiar with and potentially even
I'm really
nearly
excited
as
for
excited
this
as me.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
First 2 boats that we're gonna see are for sale.
Both on the east coast of the States, so there'll be some fun in between boating activities.
Then we're going to the
Fly
UK.
across to the UK.
We're still organising if we are going to go and see some other boats, but the ones that we have locked in are a Spirit yacht, which is the one that James Bond has, I think it was featured in, I think it was No Time to Die, I can't exactly remember. These are wooden, floating pieces of art. They are stunningly gorgeous.
Lots of wood, not wooden hull, obviously.
Wooden hull.
Really?
They're all wood.
Whoa.
That's what they're famous for, yeah.
Sick.
But babe, you don't even understand,
I'm along
man.
for the ride.
The step inside and it's like a painting. Like these guys are magicians and girls. They're artists.
Right, okay.
Every square inch is
Just perfected?
beautiful. Yeah,
Cool.
it's like the Mona Lisa, but it floats.
The Mona Lisa of the sea, there you go.
Man, like,
He's called it.
then it's a lesser known brand, but very performance orientated again, a DazCat. You would call it a production facility, but it's more of a family orientated company, which I also love, and they're making fantastic boats out of the UK. Right up my alley. I'm really keen to see their build quality and their philosophy and what they're doing behind it all, and I think that our audience would benefit from having known more about DazCat and what they're doing there. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic and good for everyone as well.
And actually we're going to get some months in Europe, which I'm so excited about. We're saving the best till last. Sorry, United States, but I'm really looking forward to going back to Europe. Like, I bloody love Europe, and taking the boys there, going and seeing some castles, like back to my roots. And then obviously back to the trimaran, because our trimaran will finally be launching then.
There's a couple of wild cards in there that we're still trying to work on going to see.
It's like super hard to organise this schedule.
So this is just taking a mountain of logistical work.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is, you're gonna just lose your minds. This is gonna be really cool.
Really looking forward to it. Subscribe if you're new here, and please give the video a like, because that helps us so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Cool.